Hi, I'm Cameron, I'm an adventurer filmmaker and photographer, and welcome to Norway. I'm currently in Myrkdalen, which is just on the edge of the Jotunheimen National Park, where I've just enjoyed a fabulous night here in an off-grid wilderness cabin. And later today, after doing some cross-country skiing with a friend, I'll be heading into the national park for a long weekend of winter camping and expedition training in preparation for a bit of a bigger trip that I've got coming up later on in the year. I'm really looking forward to educating myself a bit more deeply in the expedition side of things, whilst I've spent some time actually in Jotunheimen National Park doing hut-to-hut trip a few years ago. It's really going to test me a bit more by camping out in the wilds overnight, and what has been for the past few weeks sub-zero temperatures of minus 20 degrees. So I will be testing my kit and my gear and my mentality to a bit more of a limit over the next few days, but very, very excited to be getting right into the heart of the Norwegian wilderness. Welcome to a very cold and windy Jotunheimen National Park. Just enjoyed my first winter camping experience and had a really good night. We went on our Fjellski for about an hour and a half to get to our campsite spot here, and maybe it took about half an hour to 45 minutes to set up the tent, and I think we got set up pretty well. We cooked some dinner and then settled in for the night. About 7 o'clock we were in bed, and then we got up at 7 o'clock. So quite a long stint in the sleeping bag, but it was extremely nice and cozy, and overall slept pretty well, and felt very warm inside the tent. A couple of layers of socks on and a few layers of clothing and a couple of woolly hats, and yeah, it was very, very comfortable. We got up this morning, cooked breakfast, which the snow is just boiling in the pan as I speak, and had to dig out the pulks, because even though I don't think it snowed very much last night, there was a lot of wind, so it's kind of buried our pulks somewhat. So I had to dig those out, and they just create a bit of space around us to be able to get all our kit back in there. And then today we're back on Fjellski, and I think we're doing a bit of a circuit around to where the lodges where we stayed on our first evening in the national park here. And from the guides, they're saying that the chances of a second night of winter camping, which is are on the original schedule, might be a little bit slim, because the weather is really coming in, and they've advised that it's basically not safe at all to be out, and that if we were in the middle of an expedition, we wouldn't be packing up our tents at all. We would basically be staying in them and staying grounded and staying put until the weather window cleared up. So there's potential that we'll be camping tonight, there's potential we'll be back in the lodge, and either way, looking forward to a full day of ski expedition ahead. And pulling the pulk, which is a new experience for me too, and one that I really enjoyed yesterday. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be, and it was a really nice way to travel. So let's see what today has in store and how the day unfolds. Just experienced our second night of winter camping here in the Jotunheimen National Park.
and it has been a very wild and windy night, which is continuing into the morning, as you can probably hear. The winds last night were about 30 kilometers per second, so it's been very tricky night to sleep, and we are right next to the lodge, just in case if anything went wrong we could get up and just go inside for safety. So I think everybody's managed to stay in the tents last night, but now we've got a bit of a challenge this morning to dig ourselves out, because the snow has come in and it's right up to the sides. I can feel it here. So a little bit of digging this morning, good way to warm up, and yeah, it's still pretty blustery out there, so it'll be a bit of a fun way to get the day going. Oh yeah, we are buried. We are very buried. So my tent buddy Adam started digging. You can see here, yeah, we dug this hole last night, and it is pretty much completely filled in. Our tent is attached to my pulk, and my pulk is somewhere in there. I'm guessing where you can see that little kind of bit of metal poking out. I think that might be from Adam's skis. So yeah, and the hotel, or the lodge, is just right here, so we're not far away, but still pretty extreme weather. I'd say overall that was a really fun, really rewarding, really educational and extremely worthwhile winter camping weekend out here in Jotunheimen, and it was exactly everything that I wanted it to be, really. A lot of new things learned and put into practice, and yeah, it was a wild and windy and cold, but yet warm and snug because of all the layers. So I don't know, it's just really fun being out in these environments and everything that I wanted it to be.
After two rather wild and cold nights in Jotunheimen National Park, we came back to Bygdin Lodge yesterday and enjoyed a very relaxing afternoon. And I checked in here for an extra night and enjoyed a super warm and cozy night's sleep. This morning I've been packing up all my stuff again, ready for the next part of the trip, and I've been keeping myself a little bit open as to where I go. And in checking the weather, it looks like there's a bit of a snowstorm coming in, so I've decided to head towards Myrkdalen, which is a ski area just north of Voss. It's a relatively new ski resort, and it's one that I've been curious to check out for a little while. So it's a 3-hour drive from here, and I'm just currently waiting for the road to be cleared so that we can get out from the lodge, and then I'll be heading back over this way for the final leg of the trip, with a plan currently to go to Lillehammer before I head back towards Oslo at the end of the week.
It's cold, it's wet and it's windy, and there are very few people here in Myrkdalen. It kind of feels like I've got the whole resort to myself really. That being said, the snow's really nice. It's all freshly groomed, there's really good corduroy, and it feels like quite good spring snow, even though it's only the beginning of March, so it should be a little bit firmer, but super nice to ski. And yeah, I think it's going to be quite a fun day having a play here. I'm here in Lillehammer, which is the final stop on my 10-day trip here in Norway, and it's been an incredible 10 days. I've learned a lot of new things, I've seen some new places, I've tested myself and pushed myself outside my comfort zone a little bit, and I've been very fortunate to spend quite a lot of time in Norway over the past few years, and I absolutely love it here. I think one of my favourite things is just the culture of how people embrace the outdoors and going outside to just play, and that's a mentality that I very, very much subscribe to.